we are assembling the fall flower pail pop-up card. And I've already done a lot of the paper piecing because there is quite a bit with this card. So I've got, let's start here with the base. And I've already glued my panels on. These three go here. And so now I'm going to prep the rest of it. So you want to fold it down, the first score line to there, and then fold this up. And then fold this tab down. So again, we're going to fold this so that's flush with the bottom of the base. Fold this back. Fold this down. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to glue these 1/4 inch tabs down. You're going to glue those right inside the base. It'll just be better to walk fast and get it over with. Don't kick my camera stand, please. Thank you. Good night. Let me send my son a text message. I think he left my door open because I can hear the TV. I hope that you can't hear it. Okay. Now let's finish gluing this down. Now we're going to set this aside and let this dry while we work on the base pieces. So just pick one and dive in. I've already glued on this base piece. Excuse me for one moment. John!
See?
You left the door open. Yes. Teenagers are lovely. They don't ever put anything back the way it was.
You know it.
Stop it. Okay, so I have curled each one of my leaves. To give more dimension. And I just used the end of the stylus, curled them back, and then took the tip and just kind of creased it there at the center. And so I'm only putting glue on that raised section there. Oops. I put my finger right in that glue. Okay, so there's the leaves. In the file, you'll notice one of the sunflowers is a little bit larger than the other two. It's the one that goes on this piece right here. So again, in order to save time, probably need glue all the way around. I have already assembled the sunflower. If you've made any of my flowers before, you'll recognize how that goes together. It's one solid piece here. I'm going to flip this over. It's one solid piece and then one piece with alternating petals, and then the two pieces that make up the center. Okay, so it's not too complicated, but there are a lot of little pieces. So I'm gonna now here comes my cat to open up the door so that it makes too much noise for me. He's gonna sneak by and open up my son's door, and we have an air conditioning unit that is very, very noisy, and the cat loves to open that door going into that room. So he's trying to sneak by me now so he can get over there and open it. So I'm again putting my leaves on first. And then I've put the piece of the water pail on before I do these short leaves. This little daisy is 3 pieces. It's 2 flower pieces and a center. And then I don't know what kind of flower this would be. It's also 3 pieces. Then we have a sunflower on this piece as well. And that just goes right in here. Just want to hold this for a second. Okay. So that's 2 pieces done. Once you have all of the paper piecing done, which does take a little while, but it's really not that time consuming, but it was more time than I wanted to put into the video. So this piece is doubled. I've already glued it together and let it dry under my mat so that it would stay flat, so it wouldn't curl. And I've only put glue down the center of the stem so that my leaves will stay a little bit, my glue's gushing out everywhere, so my leaves will stay a little bit more dimensional. I mean, it's a card, so they may get smushed anyway. And I am putting these on before I put the pail on, because these would be inside, not hanging over the side. This also helps reinforce these stems. Although on this particular one, on this piece, there's no extra weight on these stems, not like on that last piece. Then I'm just going to glue this over those, just like that. Do this one next. And this is the center of the card. And I'm just going to put a leaf in here. So it doesn't take too much time to put these pieces on, but there we are. So this is the order they go in. This is the front. So you can see our bouquet is building. And now this is the very back piece, actually. And again, I'm just going to put the glue down the center of the stem. And then we can go ahead and put this piece on the pail. There's a little bit of bulk there, so you're just going to have to push that down. And now our last two flowers. So it does take a little bit of time for all this paper piecing, but I think that the end result is so stunning that it's worth it. You'll see here in a minute, I'll add this last one. And this one is the back. Isn't that just going to be such a pretty bouquet? That's so cool. Okay, so you do have this piece here. Whoa. I don't know if I can get it up under my leaf. May have glued too much of it down. So it can go either in the front, or you can do it on the very back for your sentiment, just wherever you want it to go. I think I'm going to put mine on the back. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how I feel about everything. Okay, so let's pull this over, and we're going to hold it as if, so this piece here goes in the back, goes there. The piece with the handle is your center, and that goes on this piece in the front that's right on the fold. And then we have the two sunflowers and then this piece. We're going to open that up, and then I'm going to take these pieces out and lay them down in opposite order, because these will go in back to front. But I am going to start with this piece, and again, I have the slit here in the bottom, so we take it through the slit in the top, down to the slit, through the slit in the bottom. Then you flip it over, and here on your, there is a score line on this piece, and you just fold it right over. Now, if you want to still do this the way that I was doing them before, you don't have to stick this through the slit, just go ahead and glue it to the base. But this does help get your pieces straight, because I did notice when the way I was gluing them before, sometimes they were on a slant inside, and so it was making the pieces lean. This way, because these are lined up directly above each other, you know that that's going to be straight. So we put this in the very last one on the top and bottom. You'll notice the bottom one on this side only has two slits, and that's because the piece that's in the center does not go all the way through. Okay. So you push that down, fold this on the score line, add a little bit of glue, not too much because you don't want it oozing all over. And flip it back over and do the next piece. So you are getting a little bit of bulk as you put these pieces in because of all the layers of flowers. So you just have to be mindful of that. just line that up. This does make it easier to see that your pieces are lined up. So now add glue to this tab. And flip it back over. And now we're going to work on the center. So you'll see here on this piece, when I push up the bottom, the top is not lifting up. And that's what this center piece is for. So this center piece goes in. And again, we're wanting to make sure that it's lined up. We're going to fold this bottom tab up and we're going to glue it to this piece. So I'm just going to put glue here, right here on this green piece. I don't want to get it over here on the sides because that will glue my card shut. We're going to hold this for a few seconds and let it dry. Again, there is a lot of bulk here because we have 3 layers, and you'll see still when I push it up, see this top part's not lifting up with it, and it needs to. So in order to make that happen, you're going to lift this tab and you're going to put glue here and glue this tab into place just on the center piece, being careful not to let the glue get on anything else. And now when I push it up, this top part lifts with it. Okay. To close the card, I'm going to fold up this tab. I'm going to leave the top tab down flat. I'm going to bring this around and I'm going to glue these face to face, just the tabs. So let me lift this up. And we are only going to put glue here on these tabs. That is all we're going to glue together. Okay, so I'm going to close that, lay that back down flat, leave this down, line these up. And because of all this extra bulk in here, I'm going to hold this a few seconds. Make sure this is adhering well. Look inside. You can see all of our pieces here going through to the bottom are standing straight up and down. Our tabs here are glued face to face and to our center piece, which make it lift up and down. And now I'm going to close it up. And there is, yeah, I think this needs to go on the front. So I'm going to push it up the other way so that I can put this on. Now you really have to be careful with all the weight of these pieces because of these flowers, and you will want to use some very sturdy cardstock for holding this for your base piece, because see, you can have enough weight on there that can really be, and see my gray is not very heavy, so you do want to make sure that you have some good sturdy cardstock here holding everything in place. And that is, when I lay it down, they flop over, and I can't show you with it standing up because But that is your fall flower pail pop-up card. Thank you for joining me.